From the upcountry to the low country, all but one of the Republican presidential candidates is touring South Carolina today, making their pitch to voters in the final 14 days before they head to the polls. Well, who's the one? Donald Trump. Not in South Carolina at all today. He's headed to Bush country and will hold a rally in Tampa, Florida tonight. Let's bring in Craig Varoga, a Democratic strategist, along with Adam Goodman, a Republican strategist, to talk about this. And gentlemen, Trump in Florida just 24 hours from when he'll address South Carolina voters in the 9th Republican presidential debate leaves people to wonder, Adam, I'll let you start. Why is he repeating what he did in Iowa, which didn't work so well, and that is kind of walk away and not be there as much as perhaps he should be?
Well, now, that's a great question, Liz. Right now, you have to play the presidential campaign in stereo because the calendar is going to be rushing at these campaigns and candidates. After South Carolina and Nevada, we suddenly are looking at March 1st and a slew of southern states. You have to start campaigning in stereo or you'll be left behind. So, but the message, I happen to be in Tampa. I expect a pretty good crowd tonight for Donald Trump.
Okay.
But I think what we're looking at right now is a campaign where there's a different storyline every day, there's a different election line every week, and I think Americans, by record numbers, are tuning in and want to be a part of this conversation.
Craig, let's talk about what the Democrats are doing. In fact, they had to be in Wisconsin last night, and so they're now rushing to South Carolina, I would imagine. Everybody's attending the Bob Jones University area, and that's a big topic of discussion at the moment. But there was an interesting moment when Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton were sparring, and Hillary's, how are you going to pay for all of these promises, Bernie, that you're making to people like free college education?
Look, I mean, I think it was very interesting. I mean, Secretary Clinton was definitely focused. She was relaxed. She was confident. But she also, I think, organizationally is probably a little scared. And she was going after Sanders and putting him on the spot in a way that she hasn't in the past. So it's, she also, clearly embraced the president, and that clearly is designed to help her in South Carolina over the next few days.
She's actually just in Denmark, South Carolina. She's just taken the stage, and she's speaking before a town hall meeting. There's the live picture of it, and so it's a little bit fuzzy, so we're going to hold off on taking it because we're not sure the shot will hold. But looking at all that's happening here, the big story, certainly in what we call the tabloids in New York, is this Ted Cruz story about the ad where, by accident, apparently, the people that put together his ads hired, among other people, a soft porn actress named Amy Lindsay. Let's show you the ad, and then perhaps it's not so much that she was hired, but how they handled it. That's coming up. Let's hear it.
With being lied to?
Well, I voted for a guy who was a Tea Party hero on the campaign trail, and then he went to D.C. and played patty cake with Chuck Schumer and cut a deal on amnesty.
Does that make you angry?
Angry? It makes me feel dumb for trusting him.
Maybe you should vote for more than just a pretty face next time.
Okay, so it was that blonde lady who said maybe you should just vote for a pretty face. Her name is Amy Lindsay. She's starred in her previous life in movies called Secrets of a Chambermaid, Volume 2, MILF. Hey, it's soft porn. Listen, she's trying to make an honest living now. And so, Adam, it's more how they reacted. They pulled the ad. And well, I've been hearing a lot of people on the Republican side say, wait a minute, if you're appealing to Christians who believe that you should forgive and then reach out to people like that, is that going to backfire, or is that the right thing to do?
I'll tell you, this is what gives ad makers like myself gray hair. Because as much as we think we vetted ourselves and the candidates around us, suddenly we have to start vetting the people in our commercials. It happens. I don't think this is a big deal. I think, and you raised the right question. It's all how you handle it. This whole presidential campaign is a test of mettle. And how you do when the chips are down. I think this was a tough moment for Cruz. I think his stock, I'm glad the stock market's doing well today. I don't think his did necessarily well, but tomorrow is another trading day.
Well, yeah, and why not simply say, stand by these decisions? Maybe that's why Donald Trump is resonating, Craig, because he says, yes, so what? That is how I feel. That is what I've done in the past. And maybe they should have said, yes, we hired her. She was the best person for the job. We did not know her background, and maybe that makes us look even smarter that she's trying to make an honest living right now.
Look, I mean, I'm not sure once it happened that there was any good way out of it. I think that, I mean, yes, that's the sort of thing that does give consultants gray hair, but it's not that difficult to vet the people who are going to appear in an ad. Now, it was an online ad. I think it was funny. I think it was amusing for insiders. I don't think that it would have been very effective with voters if it had been reduced to a 30-second or a 60-second ad. But You know, it's like there was no good way out of it once they made that mistake.
Well, good for Amy Lindsay. Everybody knows her name now. How about that? Gentlemen, thank you. Great to see you. Craig Varoga.
Hey, thank you.
Anytime. And Adam Goodman. Great to have both of you. Be sure to keep it right here for all of the election coverage.